Hi, welcome back. My name is Joe. I recently been making a couple videos. Um, Mainly got started because of my soon-to-be ex-wife being sucked into a cult. Not too sure what YouTube thinks about the word cult, but I guess if that's what you're living, people's put worse words on it. I wanted to mainly talk about what it's been like for the last 2 years. We've been kind of in different areas with it. For the first year, it was pretty bad. They have what's called the body. I have some notes, so if you see me looking down, that's why. There's a lot to go over, and this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. But number one, I probably should explain a little bit about the leader, or not leader, as she calls herself. She's just a voice between God and her followers. So, she's a licensed clinical psychologist, practiced up until about 2 years ago. I'm not sure exactly why she lost her license, but it's the first clinical psychologist I've ever seen with a Google rating of 1. So, but with that said, of course she's practicing in California. That's where most of the leaders have been born or live for some reason. I think I mentioned before some of the just some of the rough edges of it. For the first year, it was tolerable. It was she crossed a lot of lines, but she kept those lines on her. At the end of the first year, she's kind of trying to put everything on her kids, wanted them to follow and learn. Tried to teach them. Wanted them to, whether they would observe the true holy days or not. She wanted everybody to stop celebrating any of the holidays, the man-made holidays, Christmas, Easter, New Year's. Strangely enough, she loved cooking, so Thanksgiving wasn't one of those holidays. She wanted to celebrate Thanksgiving every year. She would come around for birthday parties for her own kids, but she would leave the room if someone lit a candle. She didn't want any candles on any cakes or in the house. I didn't waste my time even trying to figure out what that was. But just a little more information for the beginning of this. This all started, I guess, in 24. She was trying to get some advice off the internet. She thought she was hollering at her kids too much. She thought she was disciplining them too much. So she was looking for more peaceful ways. She must have stumbled across the lady, which also puts out what most people would consider grooming videos for any followers that she can get. Her name's Carrie, by the way, in case I accidentally used that name later. I'm talking about the psychiatrist. She got her start in a hospital. She said that she had to keep going back to a hospital, and man couldn't cure her. I'm fairly sure her hospital is not a regular one. I'm thinking it was probably a mental institution. That's where God started talking to her, and hasn't quit since then, giving her all kinds of messages for everybody. But you got to remember, she's almost only human, so maybe she's made mistakes. But anyways, So she's quit working at her business. She owned a beautiful home, probably over $1 million home in California. Beautiful. It looked like something out of a magazine. After she quit her job, of course, she couldn't keep paying for it. So she uses that as an example now of what her followers should do. The house I just came from before I come here, the house I lived in while I was married anyway, it's paid off. I put a lot of work into it. It's better than something you would just give away. Today just happens to be one of those days, the secret celebration days that the leader has found, that you got to give stuff away to two poor people, and it can be included all the way up to your house if you don't want to go to hell. So that's probably what I'll be dealing with later this week with my wife. So it all got started, like I said, when she was looking for more traditional ways to discipline older kids. I think they was probably 15, 16, around that time. She figured out that there was no raising your voice, so she started that calm stuff, which led her to this lady's videos. That was 2 years ago. I noticed she started carrying her laptop. We used to go on vacations, I don't know, probably twice a year or so. Started carrying her laptop around, started taking notes. She would buy poster. She started taking, first she threw away every holiday, everything we had for a holiday, Christmas lights, decorations, Easter stuff. I used to put a lot of stuff on the house, but I stopped, which I was okay with that. I didn't really like it anyway. But she threw it all in the trash and didn't even tell me. So, needless to say, when I moved and I was looking for some stuff, there was none left. But she started carrying that laptop around. She started buying poster boards and taking notes. I would see Daniel, Revelations, over and over. It was like from one of the movies where they wrote all over the glass walls and trying to figure out some kind of secret. But it went on for a couple months. Then I said, hey, starting to seem a little bit weird around here. You're writing all over you're writing secrets and posting them on the walls. She's writing with whiteboards, just writing everywhere, all kinds of timelines and end of earth, end of time, God's coming back. But they finally let her join what they call the body, and she was in that for, I guess, about a year, a little over a year. She started teaching some Bible classes. She would have to study for, this is per the leader there, she'd have to spend probably 3 days studying the Bible and taking notes on certain chapters, I guess, and trying to reference it. She bought the old Jewish dictionary so that she could translate the words from whatever it was written into Greek and into English. Of course, they found a couple what they called mistranslations, and that set all the red flags off for everybody else except her. At that time, there was probably about 15 or 20 people in the body, what they consider the Holy Grail, I guess. And she was doing the classes, she was doing Sunday school, then they let her do some kind of extra stuff. Well, in the meantime, I guess she was sending them a bunch of money. I didn't know about it. I probably wouldn't have cared if it wasn't so much. But after I found out about that, I said, which I had told her, that was the line. Don't ever send them money without me knowing. Well, come to find out, she'd been doing it for several months, maybe longer. And packages across to California, which costs a lot of money. So that was our first scrimmage in this situation. They found out that I knew. They made her stop sending everything. Told her if she had to send something, it needed to be in the leader's daughter's name, not the leader's name. I said, hey, don't you find that weird? And of course, no, she didn't. Since how you're not legally allowed to send money, at least in Ohio, to those kind of people, cults, I guess, without the marital person knowing. But anyways, after she got into the body, they let her keep sending stuff. After she got caught, they kicked her out of the body. This is probably the same month or two. But they still let her send gifts. Again, the lady is a clinical psychiatrist. She knows what she's doing with the brain. So God did bless her there. She can trick people. She pulled her kids out of school. Like I said, the two daughters. Pulled them out of school, put them in homeschool. She wanted to do Bible study for the whole time, but they had to do their regular classes. That lasted for about a year, I guess, a little over a year. Made the oldest one quit her job. She's working at a local restaurant here. Made her quit her job. Said God told my wife, of course, or Carrie. No family visits. She cut off the grandparents from any kind of visitation. At that time, one of the grandmas would get the girls every other weekend, pretty much like clockwork. The other grandma used to spend time with them when she could. And I said, hey, you know, what you're doing is borderline crime. You know, you can't just stop visitation because some lady told you to, especially if the grandparents. So I gave one of the grandmothers, gave her the name of an attorney that I know that's in town here where we live. And they had to literally go to court to get the judge to sign the paper saying that the girls had to go visit with their grandparents. So that cost a couple $1,000 at least. And this is all under the voice of God that she was doing it. But when she seen the court papers, she changed the plan. It was not God that was telling her to do it, it was her flesh. And she said, just like the Bible says, you have to refine gold over and over to get it pure. So that was just a mistake that she caused for everybody around her. She could care less. There's keywords that they remember. Keywords and key Bible quotes, and they think they figured out 3 or 4 secret things, and like the lampstands in the Bible. Of course, the woman's leader is one of the lampstands. It was between her and Moses, probably. They got the keywords like flesh in the body and circumcision of the flesh, alone with God. And you got to talk about your dreams. You have to wake up as soon as you have a dream and write it down. I'm not sure if it's for the leader or not, but they would go over the book of Daniel over and over. That's where the lady explained to him the translations were meaning her instead of other people. Everything that happened to you, including stubbing your toe, is a sign from God, and without God telling you, you have to figure out what it means. So if you stub your toe, it could either mean don't go in a burning house, or it could mean go in a burning house. You have to wait for God to tell you. And if you make the wrong choice, you're out. So yesterday I went to pick up a couple more items. I'm still bringing some stuff out. I got some stomach issues going on, so I've been trying not to lift a lot, but I still got most of my stuff already. So I go over there and she tells me, hey, this I've moved out like 4 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago. She says, hey, I got, if you take what you need and let me know, I can start giving this away or throwing it away. I was like, after 3 days, I just moved out on the 1st. Why would you start throwing stuff away or giving stuff away? She said, well, you never know who needs it. So I said, well, I appreciate it if you didn't throw anything away until at least have a week or so to move my stuff. So today, which I've watched the ladies' videos maybe 3 times at the most. I've watched maybe one complete one and a few halves. The